Welcome back, and today we're going to be installing SteamOS on my custom machine. I'm doing this from within Mac OS X, so you can do this from within Windows. So you're just going to click agree and download. Yeah, so now what we need to do is we need to create a install USB. So this is something the system's going to boot off of to install SteamOS. So you're going to go and use disk utility or whatever partitioning software you use. I don't know why that came up, but ignore it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to select the USB stick we're using. We're going to select one partition. Make sure it's in master boot record mode so it can be booted up by the DOS computer, or, Windows computer. Alright, I named it SteamOS. I believe whatever you name it is optional. We're using the advanced installer, so the normal installer just does not work. From what I can tell, and from what I've read on the internet. Alright, so I'm on the partition. So now the zip file you downloaded, you need to drag all the contents. I'm not sure about the invisible ones. I do my best to get them in there too. What you probably want to do is you want to use an actual zip software and extract them into the USB stick instead of just dragging and dropping them. I went back after and did this because I originally forgot to record this part, but you get what I mean. So get every single file into this USB stick. Valve has done this in a really annoying way, but usually you'd have an ISO restore, but alright, now that we're done that, that was sped up by the way. You just want to eject it and reboot your computer. And that's about it. Well, thank you for watching the first part of this tutorial. Alright, welcome back. Today I'm going to be installing SteamOS on my Hackintosh/Windows computer. So first what you want to do is take out all of your disk drives other than the ones you want to be completely wiped by SteamOS. Requirements for SteamOS, by the way, in case you haven't already seen them, NVIDIA graphics card, Intel or AMD 64-bit processor, and a UEFI. Alright, so now you need to get into your motherboard on your BIOS. That's going to be different for every BIOS you come across, so I'm not going to really tell you how to do that. Alright, now somewhere, probably in your boot settings, there's going to be a secure boot option. You need to change that to other OS. If it's in the Windows one, it's not going to work. You need to change that to other OS so the UEFI thing can boot your OS, well, the SteamOS properly. Alright, so just exit. You want to save your changes. Perfect. Now, when you restart, you want to hold up whatever key it is you use to choose what device you want to boot from. For me, it's F8. And make sure you choose the UEFI version so you can see the UEFI before the name, and then whatever you want to boot from. Okay, so here we're going to select the automated install. It's going to run for a while, and once it's done running for a while, everything will be finished. Alright, so just select automated install, and here we go. So this is sped up 3,000 something times. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you can just walk away, let this happen. After it's done, your computer's going to shut down. There we are. So hold up to the key you use and you'll see a volume called SteamOS. Boot that. Anytime now. There we are. Alright, you want to choose the top option here in the grub bootloader. Not the recovery backup, just the main one. Alright, so now we're going to go into the setup desktop thing for SteamOS. It can take a second to load the login page. Alright, so make sure you select the default session, whatever I select on screen. Alright, so you're going to select that option there. You're going to log in with the password desktop, I believe. If it's not desktop, it's Steam. log in with the password that matches the username there. Alright, so now that we're in the desktop, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the terminal. At the top left, there's going to be a thing. Click terminal. Type in Steam. You're going to need to read through, sorry about the blurriness here, but you're going to need to read through and agree to the agreement. So just let that run through and read it completely, 100%. And then you just want to click agree, and that'll continue on installing a bunch of things automatically. It'll also download Steam. I just looked at some rate setup things on the computer, but there we are. Downloading Steam. This is sped up an insane amount. Alright. So now you're going to need to log into your Steam account, do the verification, accept the agreement, and then you actually need to close Steam, so make sure you're actually closing it. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to log in again. So once it rebooted. Alright, so desktop, and then password's desktop. You want to run squiggly line / post _ logon.sh. Alright, it's going to prompt you for a password. You're going to enter desktop. It's going to perform post installation customizations, delete itself, and reboot into a recovery partition capture utility. This is going to install a bunch of things. This step again is incredibly sped up. Alright, so now that we're in the actual OS, you can choose the account you logged on to the Steam in the desktop mode earlier. Enter your password here. Press log on. This is basically the same as the Steam big picture mode on the previous, version of Steam you have on your computer right now, assuming you have one. So really you can just click big picture mode, get almost the same experience. Probably higher frame rate. I got higher frame rate in both Mac OS X and Steam on this computer. I do a comparison later. If you want to check it out, subscribe, and I'll upload that probably sometime in the next few days. So yeah, you can see you've got the Steam web browser, all that fun stuff. This is, not much to say. If you do want to access the desktop, you need to go into the settings somewhere, enable desktop, and then in the exit button there's exit to desktop function, but that's sort of not going to do much for you. This isn't really meant for users, but I thought it was cool to play around with. Had a lot of fun doing this. Only took a day or so. The time to boot's not bad. Don't have an actual test for it, but yeah. Alright, so you can just start downloading and playing your favorite game. Thank you, and good night.